Shut up and sit down.
Emergency podcast from the boys at No One Asked Us. I believe we're here to talk about the latest rumor out of the Big Brother 23 house that Derek X and Claire are now officially in a relationship. No, I'm just kidding. We're actually here to talk about some other big news out of baseball that just dropped today. Craig still hasn't got his jaw off the ground. The Cardinals have parted ways with their manager, Mike Shildt. Craig was gracious enough to give me the floor back in July when the Cubs made some moves that kind of had me up in arms. And so I wanted to be able to return the favor and give Craig some thoughts on the news today. Before we do that, as always, don't forget to follow us, like us, share us, all that stuff. I would say chapters are in the description, but we're probably not going to talk about that much other than this today.
Yeah.
So, Craig, what the heck happened today? What's going on?
I don't know. And that's kind of why I just wanted to hop on here, because I really don't know. The last emergency pod we did was the trade deadline when the Cubs shipped everyone off, and we kind of understood that, but you still wanted to talk about it and talk it out.
Right.
This doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No.
Kind of on any level. So
no.
It happened. I don't know what time it happened this afternoon. I've already forgot, but not long after, Mozeliak and Bill DeWitt did their press conference, and KSDK, the NBC station in St. Louis, live streamed it. So I watched it, and Mozeliak just said philosophical differences. And I'm just kind of like, what are you talking about? This team was below 500 at the All-Star break, and they got a wild card spot by 7 games.
Yeah.
Like, if that doesn't work philosophically for you, then what do you want?
I have no idea. Just to kind of talk about some of the stats here. As a manager, Shildt took over in 2018. That was after they had gotten rid of Mike Matheny. So technically speaking, he's only had 2 full seasons under his belt as the manager of the Cardinals. The third being the pandemic shortened season last year. Mm-hmm. And then of course taking over for Matheny in 2018. So in those 3 years with him at the helm full time, they've won the division once, got second in the division twice. Mm-hmm. They've made the postseason all 3 of those years.
Yep.
He has a record as a manager of the Cardinals, 252 and 199, with a winning percentage of 559. I don't know. I don't have any sort of explanation for what's going on here. Clearly something happened. Mm-hmm. Either they expect more, or I don't know. I have no clue.
So, we were talking about the success he had in those 3 full seasons. His record in 2018 after he took over was 41 and 28.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what else they're looking for. Hold on here. Let me look on. I don't have my computer other than the one I'm recording on, but trying to find someone's Twitter who was live tweeting the press conference. Basically what I'm trying to say is that it sounded like this is something that happened very recently. Like the management wanted to do something, or Shildt wanted to do something, and the other party was totally against it. And it was funny on the press conference this afternoon. Someone asked, of Mozeliak, they're like, well, Mozeliak, I mean, you're the boss. If you're subordinate, if you want to do something and your subordinate doesn't want to do it, can you not just say, hey, this is what you're doing? And Mozeliak was like, well, your boss could tell you to jump out of your car right now. And would you do that? Like, that was kind of a funny moment, but in a way, I'm just like, I don't know why. I don't know why. And I'm worried because for 90% of this season, every Cardinals fan was coming for Mozeliak's head. And if they hadn't gone on a 17-game winning streak, the longest in franchise history, Mozeliak might be out of a job. So something is happening, and I don't know. There's a lot going on that's hard for me to put cohesively right now. Not cohesively, coherent. It's hard for me to make a coherent statement right now because had they not won 17 in a row, Mozeliak might be fired, Shildt might be fired. Like, this is a completely different conversation. But also, I don't want the 17-game win streak to mask the issues that the club actually does have. So, like, part of me is like, okay, they went on this historic run. Had that not happened, he probably would have been fired anyways. And a lot of that historic run, like, masks and covers up a lot of the holes. So maybe it's not a bad move. But like we just said, his resume is really freaking good. So I don't know. I'm flabbergasted is the word that I've been using.
Let me ask you this. We've talked about a few times on this show the past few months the issues that the Cardinals have. And you just referenced them again, that they were essentially masked by the fact that they did go on that incredible streak and then did make the playoffs. But what issues do they have that aren't related to the building of the team? That would be my question.
It was actually, I think it was Jeff Passan was on there, and he broke the story. He was the first tweet that I saw that this has happened. And he asked something along the lines of, it sounds like a lot of what you're talking about differences is like player development and stuff like that, which the manager doesn't do. And I'm forgetting what Mozeliak said to it, but he's kind of right. My issue the first half of the season was with the hitting coach, Jeff Albert, because the approach, and I don't know what changed the second half, but the approach at the plate was not good. I mean, pretty much everyone was struggling the first half. I don't even remember who was the all-star rep this year. Was it Yadi? Yadi and Reyes. Yeah, because Yadi got off to the great start and Reyes converted his first 20 save opportunities. I think those were the all-stars. Yadi fell off, and then second half everyone else stepped up. So my issues were with the hitting coach, who Mozeliak straight up said Jeff Albert is still under contract. We hope to have him back next year. So excuse me. So that's one guy that I thought was more to blame than Shildt. There were some manager decisions late in the year, managing the bullpen a little bit. The lineup kind of played itself out with Goldie at 2, O'Neill at 3, and Arenado batting cleanup with Edman leading off, Carlson at 5. So he kind of found his lineup there. But yeah, a lot of my issues were with the player development, which this move doesn't make a whole lot of sense for. So I don't know that we'll ever know what the philosophical differences were, but it sounds like it wasn't a clean break. Mozeliak did say straight up that Shildt was shocked when he told him that he was very surprised by the move. So hopefully one of those St. Louis beat writers gets a hold of Shildt, and I hope Shildt doesn't hold back on why this happened and where he's coming from, because that might be the only way we figure out what he was told and why this happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think there could be something to. Obviously, they hired him to fill the role when they did. They brought him in, he kind of quickly made his way up the ranks.
Yeah, let me get into that because I wrote it all down of who Mike Shildt is. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
so
on.
he's a St. Louis lifer, or a Cardinals organization lifer. He never played professional baseball. He gave it up in college. He started in 2004 part-time coaching the single A affiliate. So he was there in 04 and 05. 06, they made him a full-time coach. 06 and 07, single A, some type of assistant. 08, he was the single A hitting coach, so another promotion. 09 through 2011, he was the single A manager, won the championship in 10 and 11. Then they bumped him up to the double A manager for 12 through 14, where he won the championship in 12. Then they bumped him up to the triple A manager in 15 to 16. So he's literally climbing the ranks here through 2016, got bumped up and promoted to the major league coaching staff in 2017, where he was the quality control coach. So not really a big role, but mid-season they had a staff shakeup. I think they basically fired their third base coach and maybe a hitting coach or something. And he took over as the third base coach mid-season 2017. 2018, he moved into the bench coach role for Mike Matheny. And then mid-season, like we touched on, Matheny was fired. He took over as interim, and only, 5-6 weeks after they made him interim, he signed on as permanent. They took away the interim tag. So from 2004 to 2018, he went from part-time single A coach all the way up to major league manager, all with the same organization. So I can't remember who it was. One of our Cubs buddies on Twitter said something about, if Mike Shildt doesn't want to do something the Cardinal way, then it's like the Cardinal way is, I forgot how he said it, but who do they think they are if it's the Cardinal way or no way? You know what I'm saying? After this guy has given so much to your organization and taking you to 3 postseason bursts in a row after you missed the playoffs for 3 seasons in a row, like I don't know. Like, if he wants to do something different, let him do something different. So after reading all that and knowing Mike Shilt's story, I feel bad for the guy. Like, this is the only organization he's known, and he got this chance, and all he's done is make the playoffs. He's won 56% of his games. That doesn't deserve to get you fired. You're doing something right. So it really makes me question Mozeliak a lot more than I already had. And that I had issues with Mozeliak for a while because of what he had or hasn't done. So
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is really a cohesive argument or a cohesive idea.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that there's something to the idea that he was never really the guy they wanted in that spot to begin with? I mean, I know that's a hard question to ask because somebody had to name him that role, and then somebody had to keep him in that role for the last 3+ years. Yeah. But do you think there's something there that he kind of fell into the situation when Matheny was let go? I mean, he was the next man up, and his teams just kind of kept winning. Mm-hmm. But then they eventually just decided, okay, we want to do something else. I don't know. I'm struggling to come up with ideas here too. And like, there's part of me that just thinks like, maybe there was just something, maybe from the very beginning, that they just didn't, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm just thinking this on the fly, that there might be something there.
I mean, if it was, and I thought it at the time too. I remember when they removed the interim tag in 2018 before the season was even done. August 28th is when the interim tag was removed. And I just looked this up, actually. The Cardinals went 22-7 in September this year. The month that they had the 17-game winning streak, they went 22-7. In 2018, in September, after they had removed that interim tag, the Cardinals went 22-6. So they had a better record in September of 2018 after Shildt had removed the interim tag than they did this September with a 17-game winning streak. So to get back to your question, that was just a stat that I looked up that I wanted to get out there. I'm wondering if they moved too quickly to do that. If they would have just let him ride out that season with the interim tag and then revisit it in the offseason, interview other coaches or managers to see if there was someone else. And then if they settled on Shildt, then they would have their guy who they ended up having anyways. So that would be where you go back to the interim tag.
I don't know that really makes a ton of sense, but like, I don't know. It just kind of seems like that might be a reason here. He's not who they wanted. And he just kind of, his teams were winning. So they weren't really in the position to fire him because they were winning. But then after a few seasons of, I guess they would have, how many did they win? One playoff series that first year?
Yeah. They won the DS over the Braves in 2019. In 5. Yeah. They got swept by the Nationals.
I mean, they made the playoffs the next 2 years, but they lost in the wild card. So,
yeah. And that's what I haven't really texted with too many people, but there have been a couple people that have texted me, and I texted, and I jokingly said, well, I mean, what do you expect to happen when you bring in Alex Reyes in the bottom of the 9th of a tie game and a winner go home game in the wild card in the playoffs? I mean, Reyes had a 5.52 ERA the second half of the season. Clearly the worst, if not the worst, one of the worst relievers in your bullpen the second half of the season. And you throw him out there to get out of a jam to keep your season alive. So that's kind of getting back to the bullpen issues that I had talked about. There were other capable guys that have performed well the second half of the year that you could have gone with. And then he throws Reyes out there, who had an awesome first half, but had shown nothing since. So I don't know. Couple of Mozeliak notes though, quotes that he said. One of my friends, Holden Kerwicki at KSDK, was tweeting these out. Mozeliak said, as we looked at 2022, we felt like the leadership downstairs needed to be on the same page as him, who he was talking about. So that was the philosophical differences that he was saying. 2022 was the last year on Shilt's deal. So he only had 1 year remaining on the deal. Like you see a lot of when they cut players, there's only 1 year left on their deal to save some money. But he also said this is not a reflection on wins and losses. So that we've talked a lot about that, but he said this is not a reflection on wins and losses. It's not a question of how the team was managed. This is really at a higher level. So we're talking about all this bullpen management stuff in the lineup, but it's something behind closed doors, man. And I don't know what that could be. I don't know if I think Mozeliak's kind of a guy that wants the praise and stuff like that. So I could see Shildt being like, hey, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it your way. And that's when you stand up to your boss like that, stuff like this could happen.
Yikes. So what happens now? Do they have internal candidates? I mean, I know there's the one name that everybody that's already flying around that honestly I'm here for it.
Yadier Molina, player manager.
We haven't seen a player manager since Pete Rose did it in the 80s. And to be quite honest with you, I'd be fine with it. I'm not a Cardinal fan. And I mean, that has literally nothing to do with my expectations for them on the field, but like, I've always wanted to see it. I haven't been alive as long, for that to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's actually going to happen. I'm assuming they'll find somebody else, but knowing that it'll probably be Yachty's last season, I don't know. I've seen crazier things happen.
Have you?
I mean, I don't think
pretty wild.
I don't think this is as crazy as I don't know. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I would like to see it happen.
No.
But I mean, are there other in-house candidates? Are they going to go elsewhere?
This feels like an in-house thing. But also like if it's philosophical differences and you hire someone in-house, that means Shildt hired them.
Right.
So you would think that they would go along with Shilt's philosophies. So we'll see. But it was noted multiple times by Mozeliak that he thinks that there are very qualified candidates in-house already. The one name that immediately popped into my head, and other people have also confirmed it could be a possibility, is Ali Marmol, who is the bench coach, and has been for a couple seasons now. I think he played in the Cardinals organization in like 2010 to 2012, and then he moved into a coaching role. He's a younger guy. I don't know exactly how old he is, but he's kind of on the younger side. Don't know a whole lot about him, but I like him. I don't have anything against Ali Marmol. That would be my, if you told me to place a bet, if I had to bet on someone, it would be that it's Ali Marmol's job. I kind of want to see someone from the outside. Don't think it's going to happen. The only other in-house replacements I can think of are Stubby Clapp. I don't know if you remember that name. He was kind of a one-year wonder for the Cardinals, I think early 2000s. I don't even remember the year, but he's been coaching in the minor league system. He led the Memphis Redbirds, a AAA team, to a championship a couple years ago, and they like dominated. They won like 80% of their games and cruised. And he's been the he's been the first base coach for a couple of years, I think. One of the base coaches. And then the other in-house that might shock some people, but I would love to see, but I don't think it's going to happen because I think he's got some health issues, is Jose Oquendo. He was a third base coach for a long time with La Russa, but he's kind of been in and out of the organization the last 4 or 5 years, I think, because of health stuff. So I don't think that would happen, but I would love to see Oquendo get a manager job. Others are the same ones that are talked about with the Padres job, or what's the other job that's open right now? Is there another opening right now?
Probably, but I don't remember who it would be.
Bruce Bochy, been out of the game for a couple years. Buck Showalter, I think he just interviewed for a job, and I think he's going to get a shot eventually. He played for the Cardinals. Carlos Beltran, get a young guy in there, man.
I have another former Cardinal name too that came to my mind, but I know is
Joe
also...
McEwing.
Nope.
Skip Schumacher.
Skip Schumacher.
Yeah.
Believe he's the associate manager, whatever that means, for the Padres.
He might get their job because they don't have a coach right now.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I would put my money on Marmol.
I guess. I don't know. It just, this whole thing seems just kind of wacky.
The number one criteria, though, of this, whoever you hire, please have Nolan Arenado sign off on. I know he told you at the end of the year after they clinched, he went into Mo's office and said, "I'm coming back. I'm not opting out." But after this, like if they hire someone that he doesn't like, maybe like he has an opt out. So either hire someone that he likes, or I hope they cleared this with him before they made this decision. That's priority number one.
Yeah. That's you got to make sure you have that. Got to make sure you have your star player on board with any of these decisions. That's something you hear a lot more of in the NBA than you really do in baseball. But that's certainly going to be a factor. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. This caught everybody off guard. Maybe your boy Tony La Russa comes back to St. Louis.
I saw Bob Nightingale tweeted after this happened. Bob Nightingale said Tony La Russa is committed to the White Sox. He will not be returning to the Cardinals. So when Bob Nightingale tweets it,
it's
the opposite's going to happen. So Tony La Russa to St. Louis, according to Bob Nightingale.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm sure I'll have plenty of other thoughts pop in my head that
And
I'm just like, Mozeliak did say that they don't want this to drag out very long. So he said, I don't want this.
He has somebody in mind.
He said, I don't want this to get into, I think he said the middle of November and not have it filled. So 4 weeks, the Padres have gone a couple weeks already with that one. So he has someone in mind, which makes me think that it's Marmol or, Willie McGee's on the coaching staff. Maybe you give it to Willie McGee. Someone like that. Someone in-house is going to get it, and I don't know.
You
I
don't
don't
make
know.
this move without having somebody in mind.
Yeah.
What about Aaron Boone?
Does
Think
he get
he'll
fired?
no.
Oh,
I just think he
no.
might be. I know Yankee fans want him out the door too. So
Yankee fans are the worst, man. They've won like 95 games the last 10 years and they're upset.
not enough.
I was
Not
actually
enough.
I was looking at this the other day. I think it was while the White Sox I think game 4 of the White Sox series. I was looking up like on Wikipedia, you can look up teams records by decade. And I was like, man, I've been spoiled because the Cardinals winning percentage. I feel like I really started, I feel like 2000. I feel like that's like when I started following. I don't know if I ever told you this. My first team was the Braves. I was a Braves fan from when I was like 6 to 8, 10. Chipper Jones used to be my favorite player. And then once I started realizing and choosing my own teams, I was a Cardinals fan. So since like 2000, the Cardinals have like a 57% winning percentage, and they've only missed the playoffs 2 or 3 times. Or no, they've had 1 losing record or 2 losing records in that span. So I've been spoiled, just like Yankee fans.
Yeah. You jumped from the Braves to the Cardinals right at the right time. So yeah, of course you are. Jeff Passan just put out another interesting idea of Matt Holliday.
Oh, he's been coaching college ranks, but he's been coaching.
Yeah. I don't know, something to think about. But yeah, when we do our normal show this weekend, I'm sure we'll have more information.
Passing through out your boy, Skip Schumacher.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Just saying. Oh, anything else you want to get off your chest?
I mean, I'm sure I'll think of it tonight when I'm watching football or something like that. But
feel like you vented
enough. There is a winner take all game tonight. Giants Dodgers with Corey Knebel starting.
I saw that. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I see that.
Okay, here we go.
Yep. This tweet about Skip. Yep. Mm-hmm.
One of the I think he's a Cardinals writer. He's a senior writer for MLB. Drew Silva. The last 4 Cardinals managers: Tony La Russa, 1996 to 2011, .544 winning percentage. Mike Matheny, 2012 to 2018, .555 winning percentage. Mike Shildt, 2018 to 2021, .559 winning percentage. That's incredible. From 96 to 2002, every coach has higher than a .544 winning percentage. And the last 2 have been fired.
What's going on in St. Louis?
Well, there is something else that I want to talk about, and it might take a whole episode. The NFL and St. Louis. Ooh, that's getting juicy.
I'm not aware. What are you talking about?
Long story short, the NFL and the city of St. Louis are going to court over the Rams move. And right now there are 2 likely outcomes. Either the NFL pays the city of St. Louis more than $20 billion,
a lot of money,
or the NFL expands with a new team in St. Louis.
Will that be your new team?
Probably, yeah.
They're going to need to build a new stadium
with it. Yeah, that's part of it. New stadium downtown with a new expansion team, because that would be cheaper than $20 billion. It's crazy. I don't have all of the answers, but that's long story short. If you want, just Google it. It's going through court right now. It's incredible.
What are you naming the St. Louis football expansion team?
Oh, it's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know. That's my biggest gripe with Madden is you expand. Like, you can relocate your teams in Madden, but you used to be able to change the name and the color of your uniforms and all that. But now I think if you pick whatever team you pick, like if you relocate the Bills to St. Louis, they become the St. Louis Bills with the same color, same logo, same uniforms. So Madden needs some work, just like the show needs some work.
The show needs a lot of work. I still play the show, and it frustrates me all the time.
Yeah,
just because I want to be able to do so much more.
Yeah.
Real quick, do you want to give me your thoughts on No Time to Die? Because I know you saw that.
Oh, we want to do this now?
Sure, why not?
Got
nothing else to do.
It was a little long.
What movie anymore isn't a little long?
That's true. But I was entertained. I never. The movie started at 8:00 and we walked out at like 10:48 or something, 10:38. But I never would have guessed it sitting there. I knew it was getting to be a longer movie, but it did not feel like it was 2.5 hours. It was good. First thing I texted you was Rami Malek, man.
Yeah.
He is good at everything. He's so good.
The character was super underdeveloped and he was underutilized, but he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
It was good. It was good. I had a lot of thoughts last night and there's so much going on up here right now that I'm like rattled. The other thing that I was going to text you, but you beat me to it, was I needed more Ana de Armas too.
Oh God, yes. She was incredible for all of 20 minutes on screen.
I thought she was like a main role in the movie.
I thought she was too, and she certainly was not.
Yeah. Who's next? Who takes over?
I don't know. I was talking to one of my friends today. I think my comment was I kind of wanted to be somebody other than a white guy. I like the Idris Elba idea. I've seen Henry Golding's name fly around. Dev Patel is a name that I like. Honestly, I would be fine if Lashana Lynch took it, because she had the 007 moniker for a good chunk of that movie, and I thought she was great. And I think it'd just be something different. I don't know that that'll happen, but I'm really kind of leaning into the Dev Patel thing. He's not that much of an action star, but I don't know. I could see that happening. I mean, Tom Hardy's a popular name too, so I don't know. Idris Elba's probably the clubhouse leader. But I don't know if it'll happen or not.
Yeah. I could totally see him getting away from a white male. Going black female would be a huge turn, but I'm not against it. I think they definitely go a diverse route with it. I've Googled a couple. I think I saw the guy from Bridgerton. Yeah. The Bridgerton.
Yeah. Reggae Jean Page. Yeah.
Yeah.
His name's in the mix too. I'd be fine with that. I don't really know much about him. Didn't watch Bridgerton, and I saw him on SNL, but that's really about it. So, I
mean, how good was Daniel Craig though for that whole franchise?
Daniel Craig is fantastic. You need to watch. I guess you did watch Spectre, but
I had no idea who he was before he got the Bond role.
Oh yeah, I didn't either.
There was one moment where I felt like his accent changed a little bit in No Time to Die, and I was like, that sounded like Benoit Blanc.
I was gonna ask if you had seen Knives Out. Okay, yes. Yeah. Oh, I love that movie. Knives Out was so good. It just makes me think about how terrible of a movie year 2020 was and how great 2019 was. That's a great movie too. But well, okay. I think it's time we can probably shut this down. I wanted to give you a chance to chat and get some thoughts off your chest, and hopefully by the time we record here in a couple days, we learn a little more about what's going on here, but
we'll see.
Either way, condolences. I don't know. Where do I need to be sending condolences to you, or?
I liked Shildt. I did. I definitely, as with any manager, questioned some of his decisions, but I think he was I don't think he was a great manager. I don't know that his managing won the Cardinals a ton of games, but I also don't think they lost them a lot of games. I think he was very serviceable. I think he knew what he was doing, and I mean, obviously, he got the Cardinals to 3 straight playoffs. Just could never get over the hump. But I'm withholding. It's just weird right now. It doesn't make sense right now. But let's see where the hire goes, and before I pass judgment. So we'll see.
Alrighty, that's going to do it for us. This has been an emergency podcast. No One Asked Us. You can follow us on Twitter at No One Asked Us Pod. He's at Craig W. Choate. I'm at The Logan Lee. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a share. We'll have this episode up later today so that y'all can hear it before the weekend. If you have any questions or want to shoot us an email, you can reach us at nooneaskedus2021@gmail.com. We'll be back with another episode on Tuesday. For Craig, I'm Logan. and we will see you next week. 71 days till Christmas. Bye.